Today we're going to find out why people are in love with Loire. I'm Jason.
And I'm Trent, and we're here on an unfiltered, unapologetically unprofessional wine journey. We have a saying here, Jace.
Our saying is drink more, try more, learn more. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So thoughts of the week, Trent. What have you been thinking about?
So thought of the week, I sent you through a link. Jimmy Butler, NBA player, was going to Burgundy.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he mentioned was around, why are wine bottles 750ml?
Yes.
So, do you know why? Did you watch it?
I watched it, but I won't break the news. You share it.
So, it says it goes back about 400 and 500 years ago where the European glass blowers was blowing the wines because hand blown didn't have machines then. And it was actually the average lung capacity of a European glass blower. So, I thought that was quite interesting. So, I was wondering, how hard can you blow, Jace?
I blow really hard, but probably I'll do half a wine bottle. What's that? 325. How hard do you blow?
I'm not as hard as you.
All right. That's a good sort of.
On to today's episode, In Love with Loire. So we went to the Good Food and Wine show, and Leah gave us some tickets to go to the masterclass into Loire. I don't know, what were your thoughts? What were your kind of takeouts from that?
Yeah, it was really interesting because I've never had much wine from Loire.
Yeah.
And I didn't know much about the region.
Yeah.
So it was a great overview. And I think we tasted some sparklings and rosés and took us through the journey in there. I thought the host was fantastic. I remember writing her name, Cassandra Charlick, a wine writer in WA. She taught us a lot.
Yeah, she was awesome. Yeah. I've never been to Loire. I feel like saying Loire is also hard to say as well.
It is. Every time I say it, I'm thinking, did I pronounce it correctly or not?
I know. What were there any highlights from the wines that you kind of tasted? Did it kind of open your eyes to certain wines?
Look, I think the flavor profile is what got me interested.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like that caramelized walnut, apple tartare kind of flavors that came through, which got me excited.
Yep. So I think that was just a little snippet of what Loire can bring. We're going to delve into a bit more. We're going to travel through Loire via glass because it's probably more expensive for us to actually get a flight, travel to Loire. But I'd love to do that. Just have to get approval, the money, or win lotto one way or another. But I didn't visit the Loire once, and the highlights for me is around chateaus and this kind of picturesque scenery. And one of the chateaus I went to was Chateau Chambord, and you would be familiar with Chambord being the Chambord, the liquor.
The liquor with, it looks like a crown, I think it is. Is that the bottle?
It is where it came from. So that's very iconic. And the other place I went to is Clos Luce, which is where Leonardo da Vinci was and also passed away.
Very historic.
Yeah, it's a very historical place and very picturesque as well. But we're not here to talk about history. We're here to talk about the Loire wines.
Yes.
So I'm just going to give some fun facts, and we're going to try and travel through the Loire. So the Loire itself geographically it's a massive region. It goes from western side of France, from the Atlantic, and travels right through to the middle of France. And it covers a huge area. Just to give you a view on size, 42,000 hectares. And that's about 15 times the size of the Yarra, just put in perspective. 30 grape varietals, 2,700 wine growers, 267 million bottles a year.
Yeah.
27 million tons of wine, which equates to 148 times the size of the Yarra production. So it's absolutely massive. Number one wine growing region for Chenin in the world. Number one wine growing for Cab Franc in the world. Second to Champagne for sparkling production. And second in the world for Sauvignon Blanc production.
Yeah. So it's a big force in the wine world, that region.
It's a huge force. And yeah, number one for a lot of things that I didn't realize. There's three main grape varietals that represent the 2/3 of the Loire production. 30% Cab Franc, which we haven't done much of. 90% Chenin. And 17% Melon Blanc, which is a grape varietal that creates Muscadet, which we have heard of, but I don't think I've ever had it before.
I haven't had any of that. Yes.
We'll be trying that today. I'm just going to be very kind of generalized in terms of how I describe the Loire, because as I kind of research on the Loire, it got so in-depth and it's so hard to kind of break it down. But I'm going to keep it at a very high level and kind of break it down to three parts. One being the Upper Loire, the Middle Loire, and the Lower Loire. Upper Loire consists of like Sancerre, which is the Sauvignon Blancs, or the Puy Fumé, which is more that kind of Sauvignon Blancs in the kind of oak barrels to give that kind of smokiness. Middle Loire consists of Anjou-Saumur and also Touraine, which includes the towns of Chinon and Vouvray, which we've had before. It's famous for Chenin Blanc and Cab Franc in those areas, and the Loire Wine, which is near Nantes, is popular for Muscadet. So we'll be trying a few of those wines today. So we're going to try these wines. And one thing I noticed when I was researching these wines is that, they're pretty damn cheap. Like you can travel through the Loire, through France in this case, ranging from about $8 to $25, which is what these wines are.
Wow. That's cheap. I would never have thought of wines coming from that area would be at that price point.
So we're going to start from the Loire Loire, which is the Muscadet from the Melon Blanc grape. On the left, let's just try it.
So should we hold this up?
Go.
Domaine de Amoureaux is how I would pronounce it.
I think today, and this episode's going to challenge us.
It's going to challenge us. Someone from Loire is going to go, you're going to say that correctly.
2020 Domaine de Amoureaux Surly, Muscadet. For this one, it says that it's saline, and you notice a term there called surly. And do you know what that means?
I've heard it before. I've heard it. It's about stirring the lees in the wine. Is that what it is?
It's got something to do with lees. Yeah. The batonnage is a way where we kind of stir it. This means it's on lees for a prolonged period of time. So it must be bottled a year after harvest. So it's at least on it for 1 year. What they say with these ones is quite saline, maybe from that kind of Atlantic winds kind of coming through. And it's a perfect pairing for oysters. Are you getting that?
Yeah, I can understand the saltiness, the saline aspect to it. The smell is quite interesting because it's like I don't know if you could see it on the shot there. It's actually got a touch of green in it. It's got a bit of greeniness to the scent as well.
When I started look at these wines, I feel like it's very in line with us coming into summer now. It's very light, fresh, easy wines. I don't think we're looking for any kind of big, complex type of wines. It's kind of like going to be this kind of really easy-going, fresh, fun type of wines kind of going into summer, which would be perfect. Like this one, I definitely got a saline, kind of salty kind of finish, which will go perfect with oysters, but has that acidity, that freshness.
Squeeze of lemon on it.
Squeeze of lemon. So that'd be perfect.
Time at the Piedmont fish markets, having some oysters there.
So it was like, was it Watson's Bay
Hotel
or something like that? Yeah.
Even better more experience. Get rid of those seagulls, yeah.
Next one, okay, where we were on the west. We're kind of going more towards Paris now, towards the centre.
Yep.
We're in Anjou-Saumur. We're going to try the Cremant de Loire. So Cremant is basically, I'm gonna probably annoy some people here, but it's like the champagne style, kind of sparkling style, but for the Loire.
Why would that annoy people?
No, because people like to think champagne's champagne, but this is like the kind of Loire's version of it. Okay. So it's probably not as serious as some of those kind of champagne styles, but it's like sparkling. It's fun.
Yeah.
Think picnics along the Loire River, looking at chateaus. Bring this in. Get a bit of that breadiness, yeastiness kind of coming through off the nose.
And interesting, like even though it's a sparkling, the bubbles aren't really coming through on this one, but that smell is certainly coming through of what you'd expect from a champagne style wine.
That's delicious. That's fresh, fun, yeasty, bready, good acidity, good fruit kind of coming through. That
really fine texture of those bubbles on there.
Yeah. Interesting with this one is, can you pick what grape's in it?
No, not at all. What
Chenin,
is in there?
Chardonnay, and Cab Franc.
I could pick Chenin.
Yeah.
Chardonnay, Cab Franc. No, Cab Franc. I wasn't expecting that.
Has a touch of sweetness coming off it as well.
I actually really like the bouquet of that.
Yeah, that's delicious. And guess the price of it.
Tell me it's under $20. Or is it
is
cheap?
under $17.
How can you get that for imported sparkling?
Yeah.
That's cheap. Wow.
So this one says it's matured for minimum 12 months in bottle. Long aftertaste, we get that mineral notes, white fresh fruits, palate structured, creamily moussed, round and balanced. So I think that's a banger for $17.
Absolutely. And honestly, I can't stop smelling it. It's like this biscuity, but also a bit bacony kind of flavor to that. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just thinking through, like,
Yeah.
after you finish it, it's actually develops. Like, I was thinking saying simple wine before, but this is actually has that kind of complexity of a champagne, but in a kind of slightly kind of funner form.
I don't know how they're doing that for that price.
How do they do it, Jace?
That's great value. Okay.
We're still in Middle Loire, but we're now kind of moving slightly to the right to the area called Touraine. Touraine there, one of the big towns in Vouvray, which is popular for what?
Vouvray?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that's popular for.
Chenin.
Oh.
Chenin. This is sparkling Chenin. So we had the Marc Brut Chenin. Now this is sparkling Chenin. So let's try this one. So what are the descriptors of Chenin?
I always get Chenin and Riesling very close together, but it's
baby spew, right?
Well, that was the one that you pulled out with our episode with Merc Watts. But this has got a bit of flintiness to it.
So this is Pure Loire Vouvray Maison Bougrier, is it? You say that way?
Sounds right.
100% Chenin, dry expression, delicate notes of apricot, honey, quince, soft fruit flavors, and minerality on the finish. Again, it's very easy, this one. Like, it is a bit more of that kind of baby spew coming through, but in a nice way.
I don't know who says it, but it's true. It's a very distinct kind of flavor and smell that reminds you of that, but we love our kids. That's why that comes through.
What are you picking on this one?
I actually get a very faint touch of sweetness right at the end of it that comes through, which makes it a really easy to drink kind of wine.
Yeah, I think between these two, I probably prefer the second one, but the third one.
Yeah,
this one still has that, I don't know, that baby spew complexity coming through that I just can't get out of my mind. But like, it's not bad, but it's
the second one to me, it's the complexity is more enjoyable. Yeah.
Okay.
How much was that one?
That's $24.99.
Wow! Again, for a wine that's coming from overseas. Okay, fantastic. Let's move on to the reds. So this is a Thierry Delaunay. That's terrible. Thierry Delaunay Touraine Gamay 2023. Apologies, everyone from France.
Good job. Okay, so let's try this Gamay. So we recently did a Gamay episode.
That's right. We had some. We had a French one, and we also had one from Beechworth.
Yeah, Sorenberg. So we always talked about kind of carbonic, right, with Gamay. We're getting those bubble gum kind of notes from this one. Very confectionery, fun. Again, fun wine.
Yeah, definitely light. I do get that scent of bubblegum on there, mixed with cherries. Very light, refreshing flavors coming through.
But there's like this kind of this branchy twigginess to it as well. So it must have done a bit of kind of a whole bunch to it as well. So it's not purely just this kind of carbonic bubble gum on it. It has this stemmy.
I'm so curious because the price points so far have all been under $30. How much is the Gamay? How much is the reds? We're jumping onto the reds.
Take a guess.
I'm gonna say $28.95. Good number.
Can that surprise you? $19.
Wow. How are they doing this? What's happening? That's pretty good at that price point.
Pretty damn good, right? Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised.
What do you reckon you have with that in terms of food?
Gamay. Light.
You're in the
light meat.
You're having a picnic. You're on the water. Kind of light red.
Yeah. I feel like it'd be some deli meats, some hams with a sandwich, having a picnic, celebrating my anniversary.
You'll have a nice big salami, don't you?
I do like. So why do you look at me like that? Chopped up.
You go perfect with that. Bit of duck sausage. Beautiful. Okay. We're still in Middle Loire. We're now going to move to a town called Chinon. And Chinon is very popular for Cabernet Franc.
I was going to say Chenin.
Now you're going to say the name of this one as well.
So this is a Marquis de Surblet, Chinon.
Say it again.
Marquis de Surblet. Wow, that sounds pretty French to me.
Oh, I'm gonna have
2019.
I'm gonna have a crack at it.
Go.
2019 Marquis de Surblet, Chinon, Cabernet Franc.
I think I said it more French than
Let us know how Jay swear. Can you give that corkscrew out of 10? Okay, Cab Franc. What do you think about when you think about Cab Franc?
I haven't had much Cab Franc. I'm thinking of I think you brought some from Tassie that I've tried once before.
So I think Cab
But
Franc,
more elegant is always.
from the kind of Cabernet Sauvignon kind of family, again, get those kind of, is that methoxypyrazines? The kind of, that kind of green capsicum.
Yeah. Which it comes out on this nose, actually.
When I think green capsicum, I think bell peppers, I think tacos.
So it could be a good pairing with tacos is what it is. I've always thought that Cab Franc is like a softer, more elegant version of a Cab Sav. Cab Sav, strong, powerful.
Yeah. It doesn't have the kind of elbows and shoulders of a Cab Sav. But the Cab Franc, green peppers, like the tannins aren't big. It's very approachable, very easy. It's bright, fresh, bit of green, bit of brown dust to it as well.
Yeah, bit of twigginess around it.
But it's like this clayiness to it. Like red clay, yeah. Interesting, right?
Quite complex on there. I'm so scared to ask the price because my mind's going to be blown. Can I guess?
Can we guess?
What was the last one? The Gamay was?
It's $19.
I think this is $25.
$8.
No.
$8.
How can you make that for $8? Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I've had a lot of wines under $10 and they are terrible.
Oh, this
Right?
one. Yeah. So this one, quality wine from the best terroirs of Loire Valley, purplish garnet color, red fruits, blackberry, raspberry, red currant, pairs brilliantly with cold and grilled meats, vegetable gratins or cheeses, ages well for 5 to 10 years. That's a banger for $8.
What do you reckon? A couple of tacos, green peppers with that would go well. There's this ongoing theme that I'm getting here of the value that's coming out from these Loire wines.
I call it Valley of Value from the Loire Wines.
That could work. you could,
Valley of Value?
You could copyright and trademark that. Let's see.
Okay, so we've hit this middle Loire area, which is quite a bit of an expanse in terms of a territory. We're now going to go like a bit further up towards the right, and it's called the Upper Loire. And Upper Loire is very popular for, as I said before, Sauvignon Blancs, namely Sancerre, and also Pouilly-Fumé. So this one we're going to have is the
La Plancherliere.
Can we just do the shorts of you pronouncing all these names?
La Plancherliere. Sauv Blanc. Yep. Good job.
Okay, so Sauv Blanc, what are you thinking? What are you expecting from a Savvy B?
You know what? I do want to say that my view on Loire was only about the Sauv Blanc and the Sancerre. Actually, that's all I thought was in the region. I didn't realize there was so much diversity around this large space.
Yeah, so try this Savvy B. I know this name because one of our good mates loved the rosé from this one. But
so how do you pronounce it properly?
How do you pronounce it again?
La Plancherliere.
Yeah. Let me think French. La Plancherliere? I got no idea. It says expressive floral white, exotic fruit flavors, fresh, well balanced, and is enjoyed with young, with seafood or crudités. I could say that. It does. It is for me typical Sauvignon Blanc, but maybe not as kind of grassy and pineapple as some of the other ones. It's probably a bit more still tropical fruits, definitely.
That fig is really pronounced on the nose.
Fig?
Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The fig and the on the nose and on the palate there.
For me, it's still pineapple passion fruit.
But there's a touch of sweetness, there's a touch of minerality to it at the end as well.
So I'm going to ask you the question, how much would you pay for this wine?
I've been so shocked throughout all of these episodes. I'm so scared of what I'm going to say. I would pay, I think these are $15. Am I bang on? Oh, yes, I knew it. Wow.
Yeah.
Again, but to be honest, I do think for that price, it's not what you'd expect for a typical $15 wine.
Yeah. Like, I think this is, again, really easy wine. Tropical fruits, bit of sweetness. It's kind of not purely off dry, but it's not fully dry as well. But it's really fresh, young, fruity type of wine. Again, great for summer, great for spring. Yeah, easy for $15, right?
If you think back to the recent Savvy Bee episode that we did, and I would say that coming out of that, we didn't really enjoy majority of the ones that we tried there. And it was only that limited sample. Yeah. This doesn't fall into that category. I'm not going there and going, oh, I really dislike Savvy Bee at all. Like, it's a different level. And just for that price point, it's kind of blowing my mind. It's a bit weird that that's happening.
So, I don't know. What are your interpretations? We've kind of traveled from, the Loire Loire, through areas of Muscadet, going through the middle now, going through Chenin area, Cabernet Franc, Gamay, and now ending at Savvy Bee. Any kind of reflections from your side? What are you thinking? And also, the price points as well.
Yeah, there's probably three things that I'm thinking about. One, diversity. Yeah. Like, because Loire is so big, we've been able to sample all of these different type of grape varietals and styles in making the wine. Yeah. There's just a tremendous amount of diversity there. Yeah. The other thing that I'm thinking about is that they make a style of these samples that I've been having, which are really easy, refreshing, easy to drink is the way I'd put it. Yeah. Right. None of them, except for maybe the baby spew one, would make me think again, like, I'm not really enjoying that. Yeah. And that's just the characteristics of the Chenin. And then the third thing is the price point is really what's got me. Like at the start, you talked about traveling. You're traveling to another country through wines and, we don't have the money to pay for all of that. Yeah. You're paying under 30, in most cases under $20 for wines from France. Yeah. And it gives you a view on what those wines taste like and what the terroir tastes like. So it's pretty surprising. I'm pleasantly surprised through these. Yeah. Yeah. What are you thinking?
My reflections is like when I think French wine, I think a lot of people think French wine is a bit of it's very expensive, like go through these wines, look at the price points. Yeah. It's so approachable. It's so easy. Like, I know we always think about, Aussie wines are great, but it's also good to experience travel the world through the class and through different regions and try different things as well. Like, this is like so much cheaper than even economy class through to Paris, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I want to know if is actually a term for something.
Yeah. That's just me just saying one of the French wine names, like Le Plancherliere.
Wow.
No, I think, value, the value of value is what I call them.
Yeah, and the opportunity to try different things and see what's out there.
And today we only looked at 6 of 2,300 growers. Like, there's so much more to try.
Let us know in the community below on what you think are fantastic Loire wines to try. Let us know any recommendations, any specifics.
And if you're in love with Loire as well.
Absolutely, let us know. So that's probably us at the Wind Up. As we like to say here, drink more, try more, learn more. Thanks all.